Ever tried falling asleep in a suit of armor? Medieval knights sure did, and they had a wild solution: special songs. These weren't your average lullabies, though. They were powerful tools that helped warriors find peace after battle. Let's talk about the toughest part of a knight's job, those endless night watches. Imagine standing guard in the pitch-black darkness, wearing 50 pounds of metal, fighting to keep your eyes open. These warriors didn't just battle enemies, they fought exhaustion every single night. The crazy thing? Knights often pulled 24-hour guard duties, and sleeping on the job meant serious punishment. They used some creative tricks to stay awake, like pinching themselves, reciting prayers, or even singing those special songs we talked about earlier. But here's the real kicker. Many knights developed what we'd now call insomnia. Their minds were always on high alert, ready for surprise attacks. It's like trying to sleep with your coffee maker constantly brewing. Pretty much impossible. Here's where those famous night songs come into play, and trust me, they're nothing like your standard bedtime tunes. Knights created these special melodies called watch songs that worked like medieval energy drinks for the soul. They'd start soft and gentle, perfect for those quiet midnight hours, but had clever rhythm changes to keep the brain active. Think of it like a medieval podcast mixed with a workout playlist. These songs told epic stories of battles and heroes, but they also had secret patterns that helped knights stay in the sweet spot between alert and relaxed. Some knights even made up their own verses, adding personal touches about their castles or comrades. It's basically medieval multitasking, staying awake while keeping morale high. Let me share the most famous watch song that pretty much every medieval knight knew by heart. It starts with "The Castle Stands Silent," a melody that spread across Europe faster than gossip in a royal court. The song had this genius structure. It started with deep, low notes that matched a knight's tired breathing, then cleverly shifted to more upbeat rhythms when drowsiness kicked in. Knights would sing about moonlit towers and brave guardians, mixing in local landmarks and inside jokes about their fellow watchmen. The coolest part? Each verse ended with a special wake-up call, a sudden high note that jolted just enough to keep you alert. It's like medieval coffee, but in musical form. Let's talk about the flip side of those watch songs, the ones knights used to actually catch some Z's. These weren't your typical gentle lullabies, they were battle-tested sleep hacks that really worked. Knights came up with special evening songs that helped their brains switch from sword-swinging to sweet dreams. They'd start with lyrics about victorious battles, then gradually shift to calmer themes like peaceful meadows or flowing streams. The genius part? These songs used specific rhythms that matched a slowing heartbeat. Think of it as medieval meditation meets military march. Some knights even taught these songs to their squires, creating a sort of ancient sleep therapy tradition that spread through medieval Europe faster than you can say, "Goodnight, brave warrior." Let me tell you about the unsung heroes of medieval bedtime, the pages. These young apprentice knights had a special job that nobody talks about. They learned secret songs designed to help their knights catch some much-needed rest. Think of them as medieval sleep coaches. These kids, some as young as 7, memorized dozens of melodies that could knock out even the most battle-wired knight. They'd adjust the tempo based on their knight's mood, faster if he was still pumped from training, slower if he was dealing with post-battle jitters. Pages even created their own mini-competitions, bragging about whose songs worked better. It's like they were running medieval sleep labs, figuring out which combinations of words and rhythms worked best. Ready for something wild? Medieval knights basically invented ASMR 800 years before YouTube. Their sleep songs used super-specific sounds that would make modern relaxation experts jealous. They figured out that whispered verses, especially when mixed with the gentle clink of distant armor, could knock out even the most anxious warrior. Knights would layer their songs with soft sounds like rustling leaves, flowing water, and even the subtle whoosh of banner flags in the wind. They'd practice these techniques for hours, perfecting the art of what they called gentle speech singing. Some knights became so good at it, they'd travel between castles teaching others their sound-crafting secrets. You might think castles got pretty quiet at night, but there was actually a secret team of musicians working the graveyard shift. These weren't your typical court performers. They were sleep specialists who knew exactly which tunes could keep a knight's mind balanced. They'd roam the castle halls with special instruments designed to be quiet but effective, like muted harps and soft reed pipes. The really cool part, these musicians could read a knight's mood from across the room. Seeing a warrior pacing, time for the slow, steady rhythm of the watchman's piece. Noticing someone jumping at shadows, that calls for the gentle guardian's rest. These musicians were basically medieval therapists with instruments, keeping everyone's mental health in check when the sun went down. Here's a fun twist. Knights weren't just tough warriors, they were secret songwriters too. These armored poets wrote some seriously creative bedtime tunes, often mixing romance with battlefield themes. You'd hear lyrics about a lover's smile woven together with the sound of distant war drums, or sweet metaphors about moonlight reflecting off shield metal. Some knights got really creative, writing songs comparing their lady's grace to the perfect sword swing. The best part, these personal lullabies spread through castles like wildfire. Knights would share their songs during quiet evening watches, each adding their own verses and tweaking the melodies. It created this amazing mix of tough warrior culture and tender emotional expression. Imagine a bunch of heavily armed soldiers having a medieval songwriting workshop. Here's something fascinating. Those nighttime songs actually made knights better fighters. The warriors who used sleep songs regularly showed up to morning training sharp and focused, while others were basically sword-swinging zombies. Think about it. Knights who got their full 8 hours thanks to these medieval sleep playlists had better reaction times, clearer judgment, and steadier hands. The castle records actually show fewer training accidents among knights who practiced these musical sleep rituals. And get this, some battle commanders made sleep songs mandatory before big fights. They knew a well-rested army hit harder than a drowsy one. It's like they discovered the secret performance boost of power napping, just with more armor and epic battle tunes. Here's the coolest part about these medieval sleep songs. Some of them still pack a serious punch today. Scientists recently recreated a few of these ancient tunes using old manuscripts, and guess what? They're shockingly effective at helping people doze off. The songs use this clever pattern of rising and falling notes that matches your natural breathing rhythm. Modern sleep researchers found that these medieval melodies hit the same frequency as our brain's delta waves, the ones that show up when we're in deep sleep. It's wild to think that knights from 800 years ago basically cracked the code of perfect sleep music before we had any fancy sleep science. Some therapists are even using modified versions of these songs to help people with insomnia. Thanks for joining me on this wild journey through medieval bedtime stories. Who knew knights were such musical sleep hackers? Hit that like button, subscribe for more historical surprises, and share this with your insomniac friends. They'll thank you.